Hi everyone, welcome to Pawpaw's Workshop. Today I want to be able to do a short, quick video on the staining process for the first responder flags. This black stain is a little bit different process that I want to take a few minutes to show you to be able to get some really great results. Let's get started. Today I'm working on multiple unions. I've got 6 blue unions here that I just finished staining, and the next thing I'm going to be doing is staining 5 with the ebony. So I'm using the Minwax ebony stain for this. Now the process to do the black peace officer flags is going to be a little bit different, and that's what I want to show today. To do the staining of the black flags, we're going to start out the same way. We've got to stir this really good to be able to get all of the pigment all mixed together. But the problem that you have is that it does not give a real good stain the first coat. So when you start to stain this, you can see that it's going to be black, but it's still more of a translucent color. And this takes several coats to be able to get the color that you want. It can't be done in just one. And there's another special process that we're going to do to be able to make this whole thing work. And I'm going to show you that as we go along. But the first thing is I want to get this coated really well. And then we're going to let this dry. And I've got 5 of these to do. 4 goes to one customer, and the 5th one goes to another person. So what I'm going to do is let this soak in for a few minutes. Now after letting this soak in for a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and wipe off the excess stain. It's not going to soak in any more stain. So I'm just going to wipe off this excess. I'm going to set it aside and let it dry. So that's really the first coat. It's dark, but it's definitely not dark enough. Now that the first coat is on, I want to give you a little bit of a close-up. You can see how the black unions, well, they're black, but they're not real black. So this is the first step. And I'm going to go ahead and let these dry for the next few minutes. And by contrast, you can see how the blue is actually looking very good and it's drying very even. And that's what you want to be able to do. Now I'm going to give this about another 15 minutes or so to dry, and then I'm going to move to the next step. Now let this black stain set up for about a half an hour before wiping it off and getting rid of the excess. And then I came back and stained it a second time. And I'm not sure that you can really see in the video that it is a little bit darker. But again, it's obvious it's definitely not dark enough. So I'm going to let this completely dry now, and we move to the third step. Now that this is completely dry, I'm going to take some 220 grit sandpaper and just going to very lightly sand the surface. Doesn't take much. All you want to do is just be able to smooth it out, and it gives the surface for the stain to be able to adhere to. There we go. And that's it. We're going to do the same thing to the next one. Again, very lightly sand will catch this edge. Catch this edge. Catch this one. And of course that one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue this process and finish all 5 of them. And then I'll show you what we do next. Okay, after all these are sanded, I'm just taking a microfiber cloth and I want to dust them off to be able to get all of the dust that I possibly can off of these. Now, once all of these are completely dust free, I'm going to take the polyacrylic and actually put a coat on it to seal this wood and seal the stain in. Once the polyacrylic dries, then we'll be able to move on to the last and final step of the process to make these a beautiful black color. Okay, now that the water-based poly has dried, I sanded it smooth, and you can see this now is a very, very smooth finish, but it's still really not the color that I'm looking for. The next step that I do is I use the regular acrylic paint, and I just put that on with a paper towel. Okay, and I'm going to do that in just a second. And it comes out with a very nice, beautiful black. And I'm going to try to show the comparison in the camera so you can see the difference. And it's really like night and day. So this is what I'm looking for. And all I have to be able to do on this is be able to make sure that's shaken up. I'll put some on the board, and I'll take the paper towel and I just rub it on. It needs to be a nice, even, consistent coat. And the nice thing about this, you want it thin, but you want it to be able to cover. And you can move this paint around until you get the consistency that you're looking for. I'm going to flip this over and use the other side. There we go. And that's how it's done. And that makes a beautiful black that you still can see the grain through. And that's what you want. You want a nice, deep, dark black, but you still want to see the grain of the wood. And there you go. I'm going to go ahead and catch the edge. Just like that. Catch this edge. And that looks good. I'll go over it one more time real lightly. And this will dry completely smooth and will look great. Okay, so that's the last step in it. Once this dries, we're ready to be able to cut the stars in or carve the stars into it. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video today. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it so you'll be notified on the different videos that I upload. Also check out the videos over here to be able to stay up to date on the happenings in my shop. So again, thank you for watching my videos.